Want some marriage tips from a Swami? I've been celibate for 50 years, but I spend a lot of time counseling people and couples on marriage, both before and after the wedding. In that time, I've learned a lot, and I've seen how traditional values based on spiritual development are the real basis for a successful, happy, and lifelong marriage. Traditionally, marriage meant compatibility and companionship, pairing according to nature and inclinations. But today, 90% say love is the defining factor, romance and hormonal attraction. Indeed, the Vedas, the ancient texts of India, foretold that in our time, and I quote in Sanskrit, Dampatye biruchir heitur, which means men and women will live together merely because of superficial sexual attraction. Interestingly, 80% still marry for a lifelong relationship, but only half those marriages succeed. And only 5% of those that succeed are truly happy. Pretty low success rate. In the meantime, marriage is big, big business. From engagement rings and wedding gowns to extravaganza celebrations that cost millions. It's 300 billion a year and rising. Let's admit it, today's system of marriage or cohabitation isn't the success story starry-eyed romance made it out to be. And the reason? Worldwide, the purpose of life, self-realization, and spiritual development has been lost. It's wiped out. And the outcome is that the purpose of marriage is dead. In principle, marriage is about two people having the same spiritual goal and being dedicated to helping each other and their children grow spiritually. As a basis for spiritual compatibility, it is important that psychological natures are also compatible. That way a couple can agree on how to live and how to develop spiritually. So these are the two aspects of a successful marriage. Spiritual growth is the bond and goal, and compatibility is the facilitator. In my experience, problems arise when marriage is not based on spiritual principles and when the interpersonal conflict undermines spiritual growth. Differences in natures, differences of opinion, and differences between men and women are natural. It can be worked out when keeping in mind the following three things. Take responsibility for each other, for your marriage. Barring various kinds of abuse, there are no irreconcilable differences, and quitting is never an option. Number two, don't have false expectations. Accept people for what they are. Make a marriage of what you both are and not what you think you should be. And number three, see your role as a servant, not as a master. Marriage involves rising above personal attachments by serving each other. It may not be easy, but it helps you grow, and it's an opportunity to shed your false ego. So these three practices help develop personal harmony in which the family can grow spiritually. It's like having the right kind of soil in which a beautiful garden can grow. Now comes spiritual growth, the essence of marriage. How do you nurture that growth? Well, here are three things you may want to action. Live by values, not by impulses or desires. Base your life and livelihood on absolute values, such as those described in the Bhagavad Gita. 2, don't get entangled. Live by what you need. Don't be a slave to consumerism and excess. Live a violence-free life. Be a vegetarian or a vegan as you like. And number 3, do daily sadhana. Spiritual life is not just about faith, but about practice. That's called sadhana. And here's an example of daily practice. Rise early, start with a little yoga, then mantra meditation, topped by reading from the Bhagavad Gita. Then in the evening after work, some family kirtan and reading from scripture. That's marriage tips from the Swami. Whether you're getting married or are married, when you are, keep it spiritual, invest in each other, stay committed, live by spiritual values, and have daily spiritual practices. By blessings from above, your marriage will work, and you and your descendants will be happy and enlightened.